And guys, what do we have here? So this is a park, Shaheedi Park. It's in Delhi, and the best part about this is that it is open in the late evening. I think it is open till 10 o'clock at night. So first let me align you with this whole thing. This is the Firoz Shah, Bahadur Shah Zafar Road. Going from left to right. On the left side will be ITO. On this road as you go towards the left, and on the right side will be Delhi Gate. And a little bit ahead is the famous cricket stadium Firoz Shah Kotla, where these T20 matches are held. So now you can see the alignment, and there's a U-turn over here, a big turn, and in front is this Maulana Azad College, and this is the park. Now I'll give the details about this in the blog, but right now just mention that it is, I think, recently come up. There is ample parking over there. There is a pay and park system of MCD, which is a good thing. And I just happened to pass by yesterday. But the best part about this whole thing is it's a park, and there are a lot of things going to be inside. From a photographer's perspective and from somebody who likes to do night photography, this is a bonanza, because most of the places in Delhi are closed before or after sunset, so there is no scope of night photography whatsoever. So this is the park. This is one of the gates. Over here the nameplate is in English, and there are a lot of these I think they are metal cutouts, very nicely made, and this is labeled as gate number 1. This is the entry point. So let's go inside. So first thing I showed you, ample parking, this side especially, and let's check out this place. Okay, what is it written? Importance of this place. Okay, Hindustan Socialist Republican Association was a political party which was started by Bhagat Singh, and it was inspired by Chandrasekhar Azad. Yes, I'll write about this in the blog. And this is the entry gate. So in the previous video, the security guard directly came in front of me, and he was asking me to purchase a ticket. That's okay. So that got me a chance to switch on to the night settings. It's quite dark inside. I don't want the video to go into the dancing light mode. So here is a ticket counter. 50 rupees is per head. There are different charges for the weekend, and they don't have digital payments, so you have to keep cash ready. So here is what is the park all about. They have given a beautiful thing, and yes, here we go. So it was basically metal scraps which have been used. Now this is a very interesting trend. I'll cover this thing. Let's get back to the layout. So here in the beginning there is this. There are these conveniences, and right here is the first sculpture. So here is what this park is all about. Metal scrap. They have used metal scrap, and they have attached them together to create sculptures. So here what you can see. So there are some old automobile parts. These are the gears, these are the springs, and what is this? The teeth are made of something else. So these are the pipes. These pipes have been welded together to form a necklace. And there are these steel rods, tiny rods, which go for the lion's mane, and including the piece of clothing. So my God. So this is what is the trend in Delhi. Let me take to the next one. So basically all the metal which ends up as scrap, that metal has been converted into work of art, and it is described like this: world's largest waste to art city. That is what is Delhi. So again, so like these are the different displays they have made, and everything is metal. These are the beads. They are made from nuts. Likewise, it's a bit dark. I tried to get the right settings, but I thought it's better not to get into the problem of dancing light. So here it is. I have shot actually two videos side by side. One is the using the normal cinematic settings, and this is the one which I have lowered the shutter speed so that the dancing lights problem of GoPro doesn't come up. I'll give a link to my blog which explains about this. So that's the entry gate. That's the ticket counter. If you have to start your tour, you have to start your tour from that side, from the water fountain, and this is the first sculpture. This is the center of the park. This wonderful sculpture of a rotating stone using water pressure. Brilliant. And in the center, the people after which this theme of park is named, that is Shaheed Bhagat Singh. It is said that at this point they established the Hindustan Socialist Republican Association. I'll try to get a bit closer. So this is it. Now the rest of the video, the rest of the coverage will be in photography, which is the best part. Why? Because, you know, this is something which is a dream destination for a photographer, especially in the night settings. This is a very interesting section of Shaheed Park. It's got some sculptures of, again, they are all metallic, and they are the it's called as the golden age of India. Most of these rulers, even I'm not aware. So let me go slowly one by one. The first one is Raja Porus. Porus is the king who fought Alexander, as we all know. That's his elephant, and Alexander on his legendary horse. The next one is Chanakya and Chandragupta. And there is a map of India with all those different gears made. Then is Samudragupta. I have heard of him. And then is Harshvardhan depicted sitting in his court. Interestingly, there is a lion on top next to where the king is sitting, and that's a close resemblance to our lion depicted in Make in India. Mihir Bhoj, and there's a palace or a fort. Next comes Rajendra Chola, and there is a ship made over here depicting his powerful navy which ruled the Bay of Bengal. There's going to be some disturbance coming up. There are these security guards talking in very loud voices. This is Maharana Hamir Singh. I have to do research on that. Rana Kumbh. Harihar and Bukka. I don't know who these are. Maharana Sangha. Again, a matter of research. Raja Hemu. So he is Hemchandra Vikramaditya. So this is interesting. And the dates mentioned are 1501 to 1556. So again, it's written that he fought a total 22 battles and won all of them. And then comes Maharaja Chhatrasal. Chhatrasal is the Chhatrasal Stadium, as we know, but I never knew that it was named after this king. And finally, we have Raja Surajmal, again a known figure in Delhi. But the most beautiful part about this section of the park is this magnificent statue. And it is since shown a warrior on a horse, it has to be Maharana Pratap and his legendary horse. And similarly, in the center, we have this depiction of this scene which has happened as a person blindfolded with a bow in his hand, and it's of Prithviraj Chauhan. Surprising, again another thing which I was not aware of. And then of course, separately in the middle we have Emperor Ashoka on his throne. The complete thing made of metal scrap again. Hats off to somebody who has designed it. And there is that Ashok Chakra, spectacular. It's again designed with metal scrap. These are the pillars of his throne. Very interesting section again. Sorry if this video has got those dancing lights effect, but I had to click it in cinematic mode to capture all the details and whatever was written on those info boards. There's a very interesting layout in this park where we have, like, this is one section which got over, and there's a small sitting area. The sitting area has also been made with scrap metal. So there are these poles and there are these benches to sit. And then it leads to another section, and there is an arrow mark. And they have placed these pots in such a way that you don't get confused as to where to go. Just follow the arrow marks and you are good to go from one section to another. So that was the golden age of Bharat, and then we move on to the Maratha Empire. Now it's really interesting that a complete section has been given to this part of our history. Reason we all know that it were the Marathas who really, made a lot of conquests, and they created the origins of the Indian Navy and a lot of other achievements. Now, as we keep walking into the park and move from one section to another, it gets more and more exciting. Now, this particular section where we have Mahatma Gandhi sitting in the center has got some very, very prominent figures, and their contribution to the independence struggle is phenomenal. We begin here with Chapekar brothers, and then we move on to Mahatma Phule. Now, this towering figure of Maharashtra worked for social reforms. And then we have Lala Lajpat Rai, and one of the centerpiece is the Dandi March, which was the most epic event in the freedom struggle. On your right, we have Lokmanya Tilak, who said Swaraj is my birthright. And again, a centerpiece is the throwing of the bombs in the Legislative Assembly as a symbolic protest. So there are these two people who participated in this act, and one was Bhagat Singh. We know he is very popular. The second one, I'll just take you closer to the nameplate. I don't know whether you can read it or not. It says the second person who was with him was Batukeshwar Dutt, and I recently came to know about him. It is going to be covered in the blog. And this is the key person to the whole thing, Chandrasekhar Azad. And this is where he's, he was killed in his encounter. This is the famous pistol which is there in Allahabad Museum, or now it is called Prayagraj Museum, the one which I was not able to see when I visited that place. And there is his symbolic cycle. That's Mahatma Gandhi, and we'll go back once again to this this lineup after the Dandi March. Next we have Khudiram Bose, Vinayak Damodar Savarkar, aptly depicted. Rasbihari Bose. This is the Champaran Satyagraha. Okay, it's another massive event which forms part of history, and then the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, and finally we come to the Kakori Kand. I have studied about this in detail and I have mentioned it in my blog also. And finally, Subhash Chandra Bose. So this is the story of Chandrasekhar Azad. And that's the exit to this section. This is one of the last sections of the park. And we have this list of names, the freedom fighters, and it is labeled as unsung heroes, which is quite interesting because yes, each and every person's contribution was important. Somebody contributed more, was remembered in history. So let's begin with the islands. So all these prisoners were there from different parts of the country who were freedom fighters and who died because of the brutal tactics of British. And then we go state-wise. We come alphabetically. So first there is Arunachal Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, and then Arunachal Pradesh. And some very interesting facts come out of this. A tiny place like Chhattisgarh has got 2 rows of people. And then look at Goa. Such a tiny state, and it has also got a long list. But here is the interesting part. We'll come to the most interesting part. Maharashtra. So we start from here. This is the middle row, Maharashtra. So row number 1, row number 2, and then row number 3 continues over here, row number 4 and row number 5. So 5 rows of freedom fighters from Maharashtra. And then look at this, Odisha. 3 long rows of list here. And finally, we come to West Bengal. And if you see here, again, 1 complete row, the 2nd row, the 3rd row, and the 4th and the 5th row. So it gives you a very interesting perspective on the contribution of different states to the freedom struggle. So we have come to the final stage of the park. I have switched to indoor mode, basically to save myself from the problem of dancing lights. And this is the final stretch. So we have this big wide open space over here with a stage, might be used for a lot of activities. And then finally we have these 2 containers over here. I think this must be the administrative offices. Yes, these are some administrative offices. And then this is one of the open space again, and this is the toilets. And finally we are back to the center. So these guys are waiting. They have closed down all the lights and they are just, I think, waiting for me to leave. So we are back at gate number 1. This is also the exit at the same gate where there is the entry. And as we walk towards the parking lot, I will give a few pointers to this place. So this place, it writes on the entrance that India's first outdoor museum. I think this can easily rate as the world's best outdoor museum. That's the kind of quality it attaches to. The artwork is really good. The use of scrap adds on to the charm. And it's very clear that it has been made for the G20 summit. That was the opportunity, but that is where the budget came from. And it is a world-class place. It teaches the present generation a lot of things. And the way it is maintained, hats off. Hats off. It's a 3-hour visit. And you need to be prepared to walk a bit and to wait and read. You might carry a pen and a paper to make notes, or just whip out your camera and start clicking pictures. Photography is very much allowed. And this is the last board before the parking lot, and that's a dance form of Bengal.